It being 7 p.m, I propose the question that the House do now adjourn. I call the member for Wright.
And thank you, Madam Deputy Chair. I rise to support the comments today in the question time of the Prime Minister, and then followed by Leader of the Opposition, Tony Abbott, when they made comment about the floods that affected the most of Queensland recently, in particular the memorials and the 12-month ceremonies that happened in my electorate in the seat of Wright. 12 months on, one of the challenges that we face in the electorate is ensuring that as Australians and the rest of Queensland that we don't forget the tremendous loss of suffering and the tremendous loss of life, the heartache, the loss that will take, that the scars that still remain in communities will take years to replace. My role as a member is to ensure that and make sure that no one forgets those days. Recently, a ceremony was conducted. It was attended by not only the Prime Minister, the Premier of the State, the Governor-General, the Queensland Governor, Senator Ludwig. It was chaired by the local Mayor, attended by all the councillors. And I want to just make a particular mention about one of the unsung heroes in this one. It was a relatively new bloke to the district, in Ian Flint, the new CEO of the council. Here's a bloke that's been taken on a new role, a bigger council. He'd come from another part of my electorate, Boona, as the CEO and as the Shire, and gone over to the Lockyer Valley. And before the bloke could get his feet under the desk, he was faced with one of the greatest national disasters that possibly Queensland in the southeast corner has seen. So one of the unsung heroes of rebuilding that area has been Ian's tenacity and his commitment to the area. Some say that if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. Well, I can assure you that Ian Flint, when he visits Canberra this week, he is a stronger person from experiencing those floods and being thrust onto the community. Along with a number of councillors, there were a number of ceremonies throughout the electorate that went to commemorating the memories of those and celebrating those people that made it through the floods. One in particular was at Grantham, where there was an early morning service where they let a heap of little butterflies go to represent moving on. There was another ceremony later that evening which was run by Councillor Ian Friend as the MC. And it wasn't flash, it wasn't choreographed, but jingoes, it was a good ceremony. It was just one of those ones that come from your heart, and it was part of the healing process. And everyone deals with grief in their own way, but I mean the community is stronger from having those 12 months. Some of them are saying they don't want to revisit that again in 12 months' time. That they've done the 12-month gig and they just want to roll on and get on with life. There are a number of other ceremonies around the area, obviously, because the area was so large and the amount of devastation in the area that was affected, I couldn't get to all of them. Some of them were celebrated in local pubs, where they just sat around and had a beer and remembered the locals that are no longer in their midst. So each community chose to celebrate or grieve in their own special way. But I mean, what do we learn from it as leaders? I mean, one of the most devastating things that can happen to a family is to be evacuated from their home, to return back to their home, to find it inundated with 4 to 6 foot of water, knowing in your heart you've paid insurance premiums for the last 20 years. To have a hydrology report covered by an inspection from an appraisal agent who tells you that sorry, but the flood that's inundated your house is riverina flooding and you're no longer insured. So today, as part of the Economic Committee, we took evidence from the Insurance Council and a number of other peak bodies in a round forum, and I'll be closely working with government to try and find some standard definitions to floods that will hopefully benefit all of Australians. In closing, I'd just like to make comment and pass on my thoughts and my prayers to the rest of Queensland, in particular western parts, Roma, Mitchell, St George, communities that I'm very familiar with that are currently inundated with water. I firsthand understand the devastation that goes with flooding, but on the other end of the spectrum, understand the generosity that goes of Australians in trying to assist these communities. Thanks.